really, I'm going to try to, what I want to capture, and I'm just going to ask some questions around this is, how did you first get involved with the Boys and Girls Club? Let's start there. How did you first get involved with the Boys and Girls Club?
It's interesting. My mother I have a brother and two sisters, and we were all involved in the DC Youth Orchestra program, and we all had to choose our instruments, and I chose percussion, and my brother was also a percussionist, only he was good, and so we go to our little lessons, and I would cry and cry and cry, and I wanted to play sports. And so my mother said if I finished up that season in the orchestra, and it culminated in I had this a solo, and I didn't play. So it was just like 6 bars of silence. So I think everybody realized I was sufficiently horrible in music, and my mother allowed me to join the Boys and Girls Club to participate in track and field. And a man up the street volunteered to carry me up to practice, and that's how I got started.
How old were you?
I was either 8 or 9.
Okay.
So Mr. Presley carried me to practice, and I was hooked.
Tell me about your Boys and Girls Club. What was it like?
Laurel Boys and Girls Club. We had white T-shirts with blue writing and blue shorts. And I had a coach called Rich. His name was Rich Grabish. And what was really good about it is he was really into teaching the sport, teaching how to run, the science of running, and the field events as well. And what was great about it is it was kind of just so community oriented, and I just got the opportunity to travel and go new places and see different parts of our state, and then eventually the country. I don't know what I would have done without that experience.
What types of, you mentioned running, which of course was a big part of your encounter there, but there's a lot more to the program than just running. What other stuff did you get involved in?
Oh, I mean, he did a lot of things. It wasn't just purely just the competition.
Right.
When we traveled to other places, let's say Pittsburgh. We ran up in Pittsburgh one time, and Coach Gravish would take us downtown and show us the Capitol. He'd take us to dinner, and what he would do is, the rule was that he would order, so that he'd order for us so that we would have an opportunity to experience new foods. And so there was an etiquette, kind of class that, I'm sorry, there's an etiquette class, so you might want to, why that happened is beyond me. But there was an etiquette class surrounding what we were doing. And one of the things that he would do is choose food. So I remember this time when I had my first opportunity to have filet mignon. Mm-hmm. And so he orders filet mignon. Of course, I didn't know what that was. And the waiter says, "How would you like it cooked?" And he says, I said, "Well done." And at that point, my coach stood up. And he said, "We're leaving if you're going to insult the chef and everyone in the restaurant by ruining a piece of steak." And I didn't understand it. And he explained to me that, you shouldn't get a piece of filet mignon done more than medium. And if you don't know, you should ask what would the chef recommend. And it was one of those lessons I've never forgotten.
Outstanding. Tell me about some other lessons that you learned with your experience.
I think one of the ones I use today is the ability to call. We used to play soccer and stuff, and just kind of exercise, and the ability to call hands on yourself, right? The ability to call a penalty on yourself. It's hard to do, particularly if you're winning or you're down by 1 point. Right. But I think it's a great lesson in life to be able to recognize, even if it costs you the game, how to be a good sport and make the call and do the right thing. And I use that today. I mean, there are times when we could easily win, but it's not the right thing to do, and you wouldn't be winning the right way. And so you have to make those difficult calls, and it's a tremendous lesson to learn. And I learned it in the Boys and Girls Club.
How do you think your life would have been different if you had not been involved with the club?
I probably would have been in a lot more trouble. I spent my summers traveling to different. I went to 25 different states before I was 15, traveling and running in different states. I also played football. And so the Boys and Girls Club kept me active. So I always had something to do. And we were always, going to practice. And I would look forward, to be honest with you, I'd look forward to practice. And it kind of kept me focused in school because I knew that I wanted to do this extracurricular activity. And there was no way my parents would ever let me do it if I didn't focus on school. So I'd do everything I needed to do so that I could go out and enjoy these activities. And I honestly, I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't participate. And to this day, my coach died when I was in Iraq. And I am who I am today because of him. And he spent a tremendous amount of time with me, but not just me, but with other kids as well. And I just value the experience. I really do.
It's awesome. You, in your current line of work, you see a lot of people who find themselves in difficult situations. I don't know quite sure how to ask this question, but just sort of, if there were an experience like the Boys and Girls Club in the lives of some of the folks who come before you, what difference would it make?
It would save me a lot of time, and would save them literally time. One of the things that we see, particularly in the juvenile arena, is kids that don't have other activities. There's a tremendous amount of kids who are doing the right things, and they're involved in churches, they're involved in the Boys and Girls Club, they're involved in all these things that kind of focus them and get them going on the right path and setting kind of really who you're going to be the rest of your life is really what Boys and Girls Club and programs like it do. Mm-hmm. And then there's kids who don't have those things, or maybe don't have the parental guidance to get them involved, or maybe they don't have a way to get there. If they were able to participate in those things, if there was attention put on it and funding directed towards it, I think many of the kids who are in the criminal justice system wouldn't be there. If they were given a legitimate alternative and shown some of the things that these programs can do, and Boys and Girls Club is one of them that just can really change a child's life.
It's phenomenal. Just two more questions. You guys have outstanding comments, by the way. This is going to be shared on our website and viewed by thousands of kids and parents as they sign up and register and just go through the website. If you have an opportunity to sort of share back down to some of the kids who are coming up similar to how you came up, what message do you want to share?
What I would tell a kid who's watching this is this: if you get involved and you work and you try and you put yourself in it, you'll get much more back, and it's fun. I look back on my experience in the Boys and Girls Club, and I just had so much fun, and I just can't. I can't even think about it without, wanting to laugh about some of the things we got a chance to do, and some of the things I learned that I never would have learned any other way. And it's just, if you give yourself a chance, as a kid, you'll see that you'll get a lot out of it, and you'll succeed, and that's the important thing to me. And if I were back where I was when I was that age, I was hesitant when I first went into it, but man alive, it's just fun. I had a good time.
That's awesome. Now, same question, but geared towards parents. If you're a parent and you're considering signing your child up for the Boys and Girls Club, what would you say to them to encourage, or what message would you send to them?
I think that I think most parents' goal is to give their kids a little more than they had, and for their kids to be a little better than they were. And the Boys and Girls Club is something that will give kids an opportunity to do that. So for parents, if you want your kid to be a little better than you, if you want your kid to have a little better opportunity than you did, put them in the Boys and Girls Club. It's simple. It really is.
we're done. We can't get better than that. That was awesome.
Thanks.
That was fantastic.
I tell you what, I owe a